My governor can worship, can yours? My governor can worship, can yours? I don't know why people are bashing their governor online for his very touching act of going on his knees yesterday during that Thanksgiving service to worship his God. You know, some have said, you did that on Thursday. You went to mosque on Friday, now Sunday you are worshiping God. Which one are you? He's a well-rounded governor. Okay? Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Yeah. How many governors can go on their knees during a public event to worship God? So leave my governor alone, all right? Leave him alone. Anyway, welcome back. It's still the Morning Crossfire and Dailies today, part 2. Big thanks to Chuma Noli for the latest from the world of sports. By the way, do you know the governor can sing?
Our protocols will be set in the...
So, well, we hear the man voice. Of course, yesterday was Lagos State 2026 Thanksgiving service, or was it 2025 Thanksgiving service? Well, you can thank God for the past and for the future as well. You know, so that's that. Okay, I see our guest is waiting to join us. Okay, well, today we're having back with us Dr. Majeed Dahiru, who is Monday weekly guest on Mondays right here on Dailies today. I'm Kofi Bartels, and of course this is a morning press ride. Dr. Dahiru, can you hear me? Good morning to you. Oh, sorry about that. I need to give the governor a rest. Okay, Dr. Dahiru, good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning, I can hear you.
Oh, wow, fantastic. Sorry. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
All right. While we're waiting for you, I'm sure you may have heard some audio. That's the governor of Lagos State from yesterday's Thanksgiving service. I'm sorry, I didn't know that the audio was still on. But hey, good to have you. Dr. Dahiru is with us. Yes, we're streaming live on Facebook. We're streaming live on YouTube. So you can go to the various channels to watch. Facebook for Nigeria Info's page, search for Nigeria Space Info, Space 99.3 on YouTube, search for Nigeria Info FM. It's a verified YouTube account. And you can drop your comments on the live stream. Also, you can send your WhatsApp messages and voice notes 080-9597-5805, 080-9597-5805. And of course, for phone call 0201 2770993 and 0201 465 7190, 0201 277 0993 and 0201 465 7190. Dr. Dahiru, let's quickly move over to the first paper here, which is today's version of the Vanguard. Vanguard has mostly, you can see NRS is taking the entire front page, you know, so that's a big deal. But New Year bloodshed in Niger State, 42 killed in deadly terror attacks. New Year bloodshed in Niger State, 42 killed in deadly terror attacks. Trump stokes confusion in Venezuela. Maduro faces arraignment as global outrage grows. Industry chiefs, economists warn major tests for economy in 2026. That's on page 21. Dr. Dahiru, let's start from Niger State. Vanguard says 42. Punch yesterday said 30. The Catholic Archdiocese of Kontagora says 40. What are your thoughts on that, sir?
This has become our lived reality. I've always warned, I've always lamented. What I've not done is to cry and to say, look, you do not negotiate with terrorists on home soil. It emboldens them, it enriches them, and it makes them expand their terror network. They will do it over and over again because to them, you are weak, and they want to take advantage of that weakness. we have lamented, but nobody seems to be listening. And it is quite frustrating, really. Because how many more Nigerians will have to be abducted or killed before the government will wake up to its responsibilities? One would have expected that since Niger State has become a new Zamfara in the enterprise, in the criminal enterprise of banditry, that more proactive measures would have been put in place to prevent thunder from striking twice at the same spot. But this abduction, this incident is taking place around the same vicinity that the last one took place. Meaning the government's approach is not working. I've always said that the only way we can defeat these guys is the full weight of the might of the state and nothing else. Because the danger is that beyond Niger State, these guys are moving south with an enormous force that might overwhelm the entire country. And with time, they will begin to aim for the control of the state, its resources, its land, and its people. It has happened in so many other countries. Sudan is a living example. Many people might not know this. The RSF you see in Sudan today that is battling the military regime of that country led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan was actually a former bandit terrorist group known as the Janjaweed that carried out genocidal attacks on the sedentary communities in Western Darfur. So essentially what you have in Sudan today is former bandits, former terrorists, murderers that were somehow supported by the state and rehabilitated by the state, now seeking to take control of the Sudanese state, its oil resources and its gold resources. That is the battle you see happening in Sudan. So what this government that these people cannot become so enamored with weaponry that they cannot attempt to go for the state itself, beyond abducting human beings and collecting ransom. Because the time will come, this money you are paying as ransom through negotiations will become petty to them. We have given solutions. Beyond that, we give solutions all the time. We say, look, we have understudied banditry, which we now call terrorism. You see, banditry is clearly different from ISWAP or other Boko Haram groups. Banditry has the sole aim of money, nothing more than that. They have no ideological leanings, they have nothing at all to it, it's just money. And that is because banditry in Nigeria has become a very low risk enterprise, criminal enterprise that yields very high profits. I mean, imagine bandits being spoken to by the government of the country, so it tells you how prestigious this low risk and highly profitable criminal enterprise will become. When was the last time the government spoke to you and I over an issue? And so we are saying this emboldens them. This makes them to think that they are holding the longer stick, with leaving the government holding the shorter end of the stick. So there's something that has to be done about this. I don't think that can be done in full force. The state must attach itself. I will give you solutions. To say, yes, you don't have enough boots on the ground. Please allow the local population some level of limited armament program that can enable self-defense. These people are said to have been wreaking havoc in the past 1 or 2 weeks without any resistance. Without any resistance. That's why it's a low-risk business. They often do not face resistance in rural communities where you have absolute zero presence of government security forces. Why wouldn't they reign supreme? Why wouldn't they continue the enterprise? Why would they? I mean, they should get a call, for example, from Abuja, and they negotiate. And they release these people in batches. And they go on to the next target and do the same thing. Over and over and over and over. And every Monday, you and I will be analyzing every episode of abductions or mass killing by bandits and terrorists.
Dahiru, Majeed Dahiru, some government insiders, government officials have said that these suggesting that these individuals, these terrorists who killed 40 plus people in Kansuan Daji in Borgo local government area of Niger State on Saturday evening were terrorists fleeing from Sokoto. from Donald Trump's bombs and passing
From one single bomb that Donald Trump threw on Christmas Eve, one bomb. So it is still that same bomb that it is possible from Sokoto. I think we're beginning to make a myth out of this bombing. I think the Nigerian state, honestly, and are very unserious set of people. We are beginning to make so much issue out of this bombing. So if Donald Trump bombs somebody in Sokoto, you, the Nigerian government, couldn't protect those that may like couldn't protect your own citizens. That may likely come under attack of so-called fleeing terrorists. You couldn't make provisions to protect your own citizens. So Donald Trump will come to Nigeria, bomb a major terrorist site, and are happy to put troops on the ground to protect communities along the corridor of movement of bandits. Kofi, for God's sake.
But you know,
this sounds serious.
Yes, so I want to read a statement from the presidency, put out by Mr. Bayo Nanuga, my Oga, yesterday, special advisor to the president on information and strategy. He says here, President Tinubu. Okay, the title is President Tinubu orders military, police, DSS to hunt down terrorists behind Kaswandaji attack. It says the president has directed the Minister of Defense, Chief of Defense Staff, the service chiefs, the Inspector General of Police, the Director General of the DSS, to track down and apprehend the perpetrators of Kaswandaji attack, ensuring they are swiftly brought to justice. Now, this is where I'm going to. It says the president issued directives on Sunday in response to recent killings of villagers in Niger State by terrorists suspected to be fleeing from Sokoto and Zamfara following the United States airstrike on Christmas Eve. But sir, this is where I'm going. I want you to comment on this. The next couple of days, the defense headquarters came out to say that they are watching, monitoring, and tracking the fleeing terrorists in response to media inquiries and growing public concern that the normal logical thing in any sane society would be, once you have air strikes, there's a ground operation to mop up, and make sure that those guys are taken out. What they said was that they are tracking, watching, monitoring these guys, and at the right time, they're going to take them out. So the same government is now telling us that the people they are tracking, monitoring, watching are the ones who have gone to kill 42 people in Niger State. So can you please, Dr. Majeed Dahiru, help us make sense of this?
It's a tragic comedy. It's because I'm mourning people that have been killed. So it's a tragedy that has taken place. But this comic relief from the presidency now makes it like a tragic comedy of some sort. You see, when other governments release statements all over the world, when you see government statements, you can feel the authority of government even in the letters of the words. Even the way the words are laid out, the way it is crafted, you know that this is the government speaking. But in our own case, I do not know what is holding us back from fighting bandits, terrorists, and all forms of non-state actors that have taken up arms to inflict harm on the Nigerian people and the Nigerian state. I do not know what it is. I don't know what is holding us back. I say this because America can only do so much. They can't do beyond certain levels. And we must be careful so that the international community will not abandon our case and treat us as a helpless and hopeless case, such as they have done to Haiti. I hope and pray that we do not get to that level where they will feel, leave them alone. They are helpless, they are hopeless, and there's nothing that can be done for them. I hope we do not get to that level. But unfortunately, we seem to be inching closer to that level. Again, solutions to these problems abound. Solutions. You see, unlike ISWAP wants to die in the process of fighting this jihad and go to heaven. There's an ideologically, religiously oriented struggle. So when the man is fighting for a higher goal, you need just much more than, more boots on the ground to combat. It's something you have to completely stamp out. They cannot change until they are all dead. But see, for these bandits, because they don't want to die, they want to enjoy the monies that they are getting. Their sole aim is material in nature. They do not want to die. So when they see deterrence by way of resistance from communities and citizens of government, most of them abandon the street or either leave Nigeria and go to other countries where they don't have strong government. But as long as you keep pampering them, as long as you are still trying to decide what to do with these people, they will keep getting embodied. And again, let me sound the alarm bell. These people get embodied to the point. Yeah, they will go for the state, especially in northern Nigeria, where they will be contesting for authority with so-called constitutional authority over the territory of northern Nigeria and its 19 northern states. We might get to that level. Already, local government chairmen are sharing territory or sovereignty with bandits. So chairmen go to bandits to seek approvals, to exist, to seek their cooperation, to allow citizens to go to farm. It means you're already sharing sovereignty over your territory with bandits. If that will come, they will take over completely.
But Doctor,
and at that time, no solution will work again. No solution.
But Doctor Dahiru, how are a group of, because when we were in school, when you hear bandits, these are itinerant or mean criminals who just rob, But how are these terrorists, now the government says they are known as terrorists, able to attack the same local government area they attacked some days ago and abducted 300 pupils from St. Mary's Private Catholic Primary and Secondary School? How are they able to go back to the same place and wreak havoc again and still kidnap some of those students again? How does that happen?
Because when the first group attacked, instead of to go after them and kill them, what did you do? You call them to negotiate with them. So what makes another group will not come and do the same thing so that you can call them for negotiations too? I hate to make this example. Because I do not support the violation of sovereignty of any country. But since the past 3 days, I'm still in awe. I'm still marveled as to how American forces were able to get into Venezuela and got to the private residence of President Maduro, and took him more clinically and took him. I am still one. If not that I saw Maduro in America, and the Venezuelan government has confirmed indeed that Maduro has been abducted from their country and taken to America, it was like film fake to me. I didn't believe it.
They landed in the biggest.
As a Nigerian, I no longer believe government is that invisible.
They had to land in the military base to go take him. Venezuela military base.
How they did it, it tells you that when you want to go after an enemy you've identified, you must be able to infiltrate properly and go and surgically remove the tumor. America has done this over and over and over again. Look at the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. Again, I do not endorse any form of violence or killings. But when the Israelis identified Hamas leadership as its enemy, it went to Iran, a sovereign country, a military power in its own right, that was hosting Mr. Ismail Haniyeh. They went into the guest house, the safe house where he was kept, and surgically removed him without touching another person within that complex. They did the same thing for Yahya Sinwar in Gaza and other leaders in other parts of the world. This is how the might of the state is exercised. Now, the same Nigerian government was able to track Nnamdi Kanu to Kenya. Brilliant. And then they brought him back. They made him to go to trial. He's been convicted. He's been jailed. Why is it now so difficult for the same Nigerian government to go into the savannah, not forest, the savannah, the grasslands of Zamfara, of Kebbi, Sokoto, of Niger, and get rid of ragtag terrorists? Something is not adding up. And let me also add this. At the height of the unknown government crisis in the southeast, the government did not negotiate with anybody. They moved in with the full weight of the Nigerian might, the Nigerian state might, and they crushed that insurgency. A lot of so-called IPOB commanders, whatever you want to call them, were neutralized. including even as recently as late last year, some other ones that were operating around some parts of Imo were neutralized. And peace returned to the Southeast. This year, the Southeast celebrated Christmas like never before in so many years. Everybody was home because there was peace. The government achieved that in the Southeast. Northerners should be worried that if the government can achieve this in the Southeast, why is it difficult for the same government to apply the same measure to achieve same in their region? Because primarily, the only region that is at immediate risk of falling under the control of bandits completely is the North, particularly the Northwest and the parts of North Central. Why the Northeast will fall under Boko Haram? But if the same government is able to pacify the Southeast, restore peace and security, arrest them from wherever, coordinated with the Finnish government to arrest Simon Ekpa, put him on trial and jail him, that is, the government was able to defeat decisively what would have been the second round of Biafra rebellion in Nigeria. They did it comprehensively, commendably. Why is the same government not able to defeat a group that is operating across the country? Unlike the IPOB issue in the Southeast, it was localized. They wanted to dissociate from Nigeria and were carrying out activities just local. IPOB didn't carry out one activity across the Niger. But this one is a threat to the entire country. They are operating everywhere, from the Northwest to the North Central, to the Southwest, to even the Southeast and South. Yet the government is appearing prostrate in the face of this particular threat that has more potential to dissolve Nigeria than any other one. Something is not adding up.
Okay.
Something is not adding up.
You've said it all. Something is not adding up. I mean, it's a group of ragtag, bandits, on motorcycles are able to move from Sokoto State, like Egbon Bayonanoga said, all the way to Niger State, which is south. And these guys in Sokoto State, the Lakarawa, are people brought in from neighboring countries by different groups, including even Mietala, to protect them. And then they now became a terror to the people they came to protect. And so what they are saying, they are not running to the neighboring countries like Niger and Chad or wherever. They are coming down south to Niger State, which is what you just said. But sir, before we move over to talk about Zaka Dedeji's interview and some of his statements, I want you to speak to the president's response or reaction to this, because hours after this news filtered out from Niger State, he didn't make any statement, but shared a picture of himself having lunch in what looked like a very beautiful place in Paris with Paul Kagame, president of Rwanda. And maybe 15 minutes after sharing that video, that picture, now made a comment on the killing in Niger State. Should Nigerians be concerned about this, or is it an overreaction to even be concerned about?
Let me wrap this up. Let me wrap this particular question up with an anecdote again of another country. Did you recall how Donald Trump reacted to the killing of one or two soldiers some time ago in Washington? Did you recall? Did you see how the American media stayed on that story for probably 48 hours, and the American president was addressing the country back to back, revealing the names of the identities of the soldiers, including a female soldier. You saw a distressed president who was vowing fire, and Armageddon on the perpetrators. If I were the perpetrator, I would have just died before
because of his statement.
I mean, just sitting and watching Donald Trump, I was already sorry for the perpetrators. Hey, so that's bought job. That is a serious country. That is a serious leadership. That is why they are strong. That is why they are virile. That's why they're economically prosperous, nationally secured. They have a strong leadership that cares, that puts the people ahead of any other consideration. They have an egalitarian country where equality of citizenship is the raison d'etat of the state, where fundamental rights of all citizens, irrespective of creed, race, ethnicity, even sexual orientation, is protected firmly by the state upheld. That was why those who framed the Nigerian Constitution also recommended a strong country that to be bounded together, by national integration, social cohesion, zero marginalization, zero tribalism, one that is inclusive, just and fair to all. Because that is the solid foundation we must lay for a nation to emerge. So the lesson we should be learning here, beyond condemning outrightly the sensitivity of our president showing us having coffee with Kagame, I mean, what's that supposed to mean to me? At a time that the tragedy that this has happened, at the same spot it happened a few months ago. Is that we as Nigerians must begin to think and understand why we are the way we are. So that beyond those lamentation, we need to begin to make the conscious effort to build a nation from the bottom, since our leaders at the top have refused to build one.
Okay, Dr. Dahiru, let's quickly move to the Nigerian National Revenue Service, where the papers are reporting, of course, on Zaka Dedeji's interview with Ruben Abati of Rights News, and he made some statements, including that the controversy over the gazetted copy won't distract us. He says 95% poor Nigerians are exempted or will witness a drastic tax cut, and also said that he's putting security agencies on alert or asking them to be vigilant over anti-tax law protests. He says those anti-tax law protests are purely political, amongst other things that he said. Just in a minute, please.
Okay, let's unpack some of these issues. Number one, the concerns about alteration of the originally passed version of this tax law is so that the government should have simply published the one that was sent to it by the National Assembly and said, look, this is the one that's going to be effective. See, sign of laws is just ceremonial. If the president has signed a law that appears to have been altered, again, nobody has confirmed it independently. All they just needed to do was to affirm that the one they're going to implement is one passed by the National Assembly. So meaning you send a copy to the NBA, send to the Supreme Court for records, send to all relevant agencies, and make it available to the citizens. Say, look, the one that we're going to implement is the one that is passed by your representatives. That would have laid this whole controversy to rest. So that you hold on to that one, and in case you have reasons to litigate any aspect of the law, you litigate based on that one that has been passed by the National Assembly. There should have been this ambiguity shouldn't have been allowed to, to be sustained in the public space for more than necessary. That's on one hand. Because as a matter of fact, you are bound as an executive to implement only laws passed by the National Assembly without one single alteration. Otherwise, it invalidates the entire legal framework. So I believe that rather than going afresh to do a fresh law, simply ask for the copy of the National Assembly, append the signature, and just publish that. Look, this is the one to be implemented. Now, secondly, on the issue of protest against the law, it is legitimate. Not everybody will be happy with the law. It's within their democratic rights to protest. When you say it is political, there's no democracy without politics. Politics is such that people will always want to put the governing government on their toes by providing alternatives and saying, look, this law is injurious in such and so way, and we think that it should be discarded. It is perfectly normal in a democracy. All that security agencies must do is to simply provide security of lives and properties during such protests, so that it does not degenerate into violence or anarchy. That's all.
All right.
So in the coming days, Nigerians will actually express their gratitude or their disagreement with this law, and they are free to express it in whatever way they want to express it.
All right. We hear the National Assembly, they released the CTCs of the tax law. So having more days to analyze.
So that CTC, the executive should just adopt that CTC version and send it as the one that they are implementing. It's as simple as that. It shouldn't be a big deal about it.
All right. Dr. Dahiru,
so they must not implement any law that was not passed by the National Assembly.
Dr. Dahiru, thanks for your time. We really appreciate you. It's good to see you again. And of course, we pray God continues to keep you stronger, healthier, for us, and wealthier as well in the year 2026. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right. See you next week.
Thank you, sir.
That has been Dailies today, and of course, we'll be back after the news to give you more opportunities to talk about the major stories making the rounds in the country right here on the Morning Crossfire. Please stay with us.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.